In a stunning and unprecedented move, Apple has halted all iPhone sales in the United States, effective immediately. The tech giant, known for its meticulously orchestrated product launches and global reach, has never before taken such a drastic step in its home market. The company's protest is aimed squarely at the Trump administration's newly expanded tariffs, which Apple claims make its business model unsustainable. These tariffs, targeting electronics and components imported from China, have dramatically increased Apple's costs almost overnight. Apple's website now displays a blunt message: no more iPhones will be sold until the tariffs are rescinded. The announcement appeared suddenly, catching both customers and industry insiders off guard. This sweeping halt affects every model, from the flagship iPhone 17 to the budget-friendly SE, and even older models that were still available for purchase. The sudden freeze has left millions of customers and retailers in limbo, with many showing up at stores only to find empty shelves and no answers. The fallout was instant. Apple's stock price plunged within minutes, analysts scrambled to assess the long-term impact, and investors braced for further shocks. Meanwhile, customers across the country found empty shelves where new iPhones should be, fueling confusion and disappointment. For Apple, this is a radical break from decades of careful supply chain management and tightly controlled public image. The company has always prided itself on reliability and innovation, making this disruption all the more shocking. The company is signaling that the tariffs have crossed from being a business nuisance to posing an existential threat to its core operations, affecting not just profits, but the entire ecosystem. On the streets, confusion and frustration replaced the usual launch day excitement, as loyal customers and tech enthusiasts alike tried to make sense of the sudden shutdown. The iPhone, once a symbol of digital progress and American innovation, is now a pawn in a high-stakes standoff between Silicon Valley and Washington, with the future of the world's most popular smartphone hanging in the balance. Tariffs are taxes placed on imported goods, essentially a fee that governments charge when products cross their borders. These taxes are often invisible to the average shopper, but they have a powerful effect on the prices we all pay. The main goal? To make foreign products more expensive, giving an edge to domestic industries and encouraging people to buy local. But in a global economy, the story is rarely that simple. Take Apple, for example. Their iPhones are assembled in China, using parts sourced from dozens of countries. When tariffs are imposed, it's not just a minor fee, it's a hefty surcharge that gets tacked on before the devices even reach US stores. Suddenly, the cost of doing business skyrockets. Apple faces a tough decision: absorb the cost and watch profits shrink, risking investor confidence and future innovation. Pass the extra cost to consumers, which could drive loyal customers away and make the iPhone a luxury fewer can afford. Or try to split the difference, balancing between profit and affordability, a strategy that rarely satisfies anyone. The latest round of tariffs is so steep that none of these options really work. Absorbing the costs would cripple profits, while passing them on would price out a huge segment of customers. Even splitting the difference leaves everyone feeling the pinch. Now, the price of an iPhone reflects not just Apple's innovation, but also the cost of global trade disputes and the unpredictable nature of international politics. Tariffs turn what should be a simple purchase into a political statement. Suddenly, every buyer is caught in the crossfire of international policy, feeling the impact of decisions made thousands of miles away. For most people, trade law is just background noise, until it shows up as a $200 price hike on their next phone upgrade, making the abstract painfully real. Apple's decision to halt sales is a dramatic move, designed to make the hidden cost of tariffs visible to everyone, not just economists and politicians. The iPhone's price tag is now a symbol of geopolitics, not just technology. A reminder that global tensions can hit home in the most unexpected ways. Apple wants everyone to see the true cost of political decisions, because in today's world, even your smartphone is caught up in the price of politics. Apple's sales freeze is a bold gamble to force the administration's hand. By pulling the iPhone, Apple is betting that public outrage and economic disruption will pressure Washington to drop the tariffs. The iPhone isn't just a gadget, it's a daily necessity for millions, and its absence disrupts lives and businesses alike. Apple hopes to rally consumers, developers, and carriers into a coalition too loud to ignore. The company is framing this as a fight for open markets and the future of global tech. It's a risky move. Every day without sales costs, Apple billions in hands ground to rivals. But Apple believes the long-term threat of tariffs outweighs the short-term pain. It's a high-stakes game of chicken, and Apple just swerved first. Public reaction was instant and fierce, splitting the nation. No Apple blackout trended as supporters praised Apple's stand against what they see as harmful policies. Critics accused Apple of holding consumers hostage to protect profits, calling the move unpatriotic. Apple Store employees faced uncertainty, with stores open but no flagship product to sell. Politicians weighed in. Democrats blamed failed trade policy. Republicans defended tariffs and slammed Apple. Analysts were divided. Some called it strategic genius. Others warned of brand damage and political backlash. The consensus? Apple's move is unprecedented, pushing both company and country into uncharted territory. The debate is no longer just about phones. It's about power, politics, and the future of American tech. Apple's protest comes with massive risks. The iPhone is half of Apple's revenue. Every day without sales means billions lost. Customers may switch to competitors and never return, eroding Apple's loyal base. The brand's image of reliability is at stake. Apple could be seen as unpredictable or overly political. The ripple effect hits app developers, accessory makers, and carriers, all dependent on iPhone sales. Partners may shift focus to Android, weakening Apple's ecosystem. Politically, the administration could retaliate with harsher measures, escalating the conflict. If public support falters or the government refuses to budge, Apple faces a humiliating defeat or a prolonged, damaging standoff. Apple is risking everything on a single high-stakes bet. With the iPhone gone, competitors are seizing the moment. Samsung and Google are launching aggressive campaigns offering deals to lure stranded iPhone buyers. Google's Pixel and other Android brands see a rare chance to break Apple's grip on the US market. Every customer who switches ecosystems is likely lost for good as they move their digital lives to Android. Carriers and accessory makers are pivoting, giving more attention to non-Apple devices. The absence of the iPhone could permanently shift market share, making the US smartphone market more competitive. If the halt drags on, Apple's dominance may never fully recover. Ironically, Apple's protest could create the diverse market its rivals have always wanted. Apple's standoff with the US government has set the stage for a dramatic showdown, one that could shape the future of the tech industry for years to come. As tensions rise, two very different futures are possible, each with far-reaching consequences for Apple, its customers, and the global economy. In the best-case scenario, mounting public outcry and pressure from industry leaders force both sides to the negotiating table. A swift compromise is reached, tariffs are dropped, iPhone sales resume, and Apple's reputation quickly recovers. Customers flock back to stores, and the company's brand image is restored almost overnight. Apple emerges not just unscathed, but as a powerful force in shaping future policy. Its ability to rally support and influence outcomes cements its status as a leader in both business and technology, and most customers return, eager to be part of the Apple ecosystem once again. But in the worst case, the administration stands firm, refusing to back down. The sales halt drags on for months, and Apple's financial losses begin to mount. The uncertainty rattles investors and employees alike, casting a shadow over the company's future. As the standoff continues, competitors like Samsung and Google seize the opportunity to capture market share. Shoppers who once lined up for the latest iPhone now turn to rival brands, and Apple's once unshakable image starts to erode. Developers and business partners, sensing a shift in momentum, begin to pivot away from iOS. New partnerships are formed with Apple's rivals, and the company's influence in the tech world starts to wane, threatening its long-term dominance. In this scenario, Apple could be forced to accept costly tariffs or even consider retreating from the US market entirely, a move that would have been unthinkable just months before. The entire episode becomes a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the limits of corporate power when it comes up against government policy and political will. Now, the outcome hangs in the balance depending on who blinks first, Cupertino or Washington. The stakes could not be higher for either side. Around the globe, governments, investors, and consumers are watching closely as the future of technology, international trade, and corporate power hangs in the balance. The world waits to see which path Apple and the US will choose.